You already know what time it is. It's your boy DJ RichieSkye back with some tea, interviews, recaps, and more. And be sure to check the links in the description of this video for trips, for books, one-on-one sessions, and more. Now let's get into the tea. Y'all, Phaedra is going off in this clip from Married to Medicine reunion for season 11, part 1. We got to talk about it, okay? If you are new here, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already done so, if you keep coming back, you find yourself here and you ain't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe now. Get it out the way. Next, click that like button if you like reality TV related content. Now let's get into the biz naive. Just a fair warning, this is a spoiler for the upcoming episode of Married to Medicine. This is a spoiler alert for the upcoming episode of Married to Medicine. We're going to get into a clip right now of Phaedra Parks calling the ladies trash. Complete and utter trash. This is that old school Phaedra Parks that if you've been missing it, you finally getting what you want.
That they're trash. Oh, so I'm not going to be able to say that I enjoyed anything about this group because I feel like they're demonic minions of hell.
Whew, so how did we get here? So at the reunion, Andy talks about Phaedra not coming to the reunion. Dr. Jackie says, well, she thinks that there's enough wit, wisdom, dynamic personalities there that they don't necessarily, that they're going to be fine without her. Quad says, so in other words, we don't need her. Toya chimes in and says, I don't think it's about being needed. She says, I would have loved for Phaedra to have come here and defend herself. She then goes on to say that she spoke to Phaedra to try to convince her to come to the reunion. And Phaedra allegedly responded that she wouldn't help this show for ish, okay, for S-H-I-T. She's not going to do it. So now in this never before seen clip, the producer asks, what have you learned about the ladies from Married to Medicine? And that Phaedra says, they're trash. They're trash. They're demonic minions from the HE double hockey sticks. Oh, but there's more. There's more.
They're those bitches, those mean, angry black women who are mean to other black women because they fat, they funny looking. You know what I'm saying? They're just jealous and hateful.
Ooh, this went all the way to the left, real quick. This got totally down in the dumps real quick. The demonic minions from HE double hockey sticks. I could have swore she called, didn't she say something about, I felt like she said something about one of them being from HE double hockey sticks earlier. Okay, let's get it. Let's go back into it. But can we get into they're the angry black women who don't like other black women or don't like other women because they are. Is she talking about when she says the whole fat and funny looking thing? I hate the word fat. I really don't like it. I've never liked it, so it's always been hard for me to say. And that's from some trauma from years ago with a good friend of mine. But anyway, that's my own little personal thing. Is she talking about the ladies from Married to Medicine not liking other people because they are fat and funny looking because they're jealous of them? And then who is she speaking about? Because I remember, the only thing I remember, I'm thinking back on that whole busted can of biscuits jab from Dr. Jackie. But I would have to go back through all the Married to Medicine insults to figure out if there was something, if there was a bigger connection there with that. Let's go on.
I don't see a future with these ladies because they don't like me. And I like people who like me. And I don't try to participate in spaces that I'm not welcomed in.
I mean, that last part makes sense.
So I'm very happy to be leaving. I'm ecstatic.
Woo! 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 You know, Dr. Simone was not happy about that. I don't think any of them were happy about that. But we got a little bit of a comment here. A shout out to one of my sources for pointing this out, okay? If you look, squint your eyes deep down enough, you can see that Mariah Huck chimes in and says, "Where is the lie?" Woo! Woo! Lord have mercy. See, this is why I feel as though you need a balance on this show. There is an imbalance on this show, and you need the balance. And I say it, and I know it'll probably never happen. But having Mariah back on the show will provide you some of the balance that was missing in this season. And it doesn't have to mean that you dislike one side of the cast versus another. It just means that we find that most of the audience does not like it or does not feel good when it is majority of the cast against a small few. Okay, if the shift is even, then if it's even across the board, then that it makes a more level playing field. But when it feels like the playing field is unbalanced, then you get this feeling and you just feel like, what am I watching? Why? It just seems like some people on this show are never set up for success. And maybe it's meant to be that way. I don't really know. But Phaedra clearly felt a certain type of way. You know, you have Sweet Tea in the clip defending Phaedra, saying that she felt like she probably never fit into this group. But Sweet Tea does not go on to defend the demonic minions from Hell part, but she does agree that Phaedra probably felt like she never fit in. Dr. Heavenly reveals in the clip that Phaedra probably felt like she got played by Apollo because she reveals that Apollo was the one who actually wanted to film. And she says that Phaedra says she already knew everything that Apollo would do. So she was okay with him coming, I guess, until, and let me put the alleged, until Apollo showed up with Shireen. And the controversy blew up. Dr. Contessa says we all knew who she was talking about. If you look in the comment section down below, who was Phaedra speaking about? Chime down in the chat and let us know your thoughts. Married to Medicine reunion happens on Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern time on Bravo. I will be tuned in, tapped in to see what happens so we can sit and we can judge. Okay. Now, let's move on to the basement. Who's in the basement? Ralph Pittman's in the basement. You know, Drew is on the upper level and Ralph is in the basement. Okay, so Ralph has a podcast, Ralph in the Basement. So if you want to see more of Ralph giving his side of the story as he stands on business, so yeah, you guys can check out Ralph in the Basement on YouTube. He says, I might be in the basement, but I'm standing on business. And in this clip, you will see him in the basement, and the cameraman says, somebody's coming downstairs. And then Ralph indicates that he will be maybe back upstairs soon. He hashtags Ralph in the basement, Hashtag when they go low, we go to the basement. Hashtag I'll be upstairs soon. So let me give you my thoughts on this. Without having seen it just yet, I would be like, because Ralph and Drew's relationship has very much been sort of steeped in their passive aggressiveness that has happened over the course of this time that they've been on the show, I really just kind of feel like this is just more extra pettiness, and I just don't know how well it's going to be received. I understand that he may want to get his side of the story out, but I would wager to say that I honestly really don't think that we're putting too much into what is happening with him and Drew as much as maybe we're paying attention to maybe more her music. The situation between Ralph and Drew has always seemed so disconnected for us as an audience that I just don't think that the juice is worth the squeeze in this instance. So in terms of Ralph getting his side of the story out, I don't really think it's necessary, because I don't think it's a story that we are ultimately really checking for unless they dive deeper into it on the show. That's just my opinion. And I guess, again, like I said, if maybe he feels like her voice is amplified because of the TV show and he doesn't really get that same credit, then maybe that could be where he's coming from. But ultimately, I just don't think it's necessary. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. With that being said, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Of course, we'll have more, news as things break. If you guys love reality TV, make sure that you guys like this video, comment down below, give us your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you in the next video.